हेलो एवरीवन, आज आप MCQ करांगे इम्पोर्टेंट आर्टिकल्स से। Jammu and Kashmir has been given special status under Article 317. Who termed Article 32 as the heart and soul of the Indian Constitution? B.R. Ambedkar. Which article of the Constitution of India states the right to freedom of speech and expression? Article 19. The Centre scrapped Article 370 of the Constitution in 2019. The article granted special status to Jammu and Kashmir. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution provides protection of life and personal liberty? Article 21. In which article of the Indian Constitution is the procedure for the impeachment of the President given? Article 61. What has been abolished under Article 17 of the Constitution of India by declaring its practice a legal offence? Untouchability. Which article of the Constitution of India sets out the different fundamental duties for Indian citizens? Article 51A. Which articles of the Constitution deal with citizenship? Articles 5 to 11. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India provides constitutional remedies for the enforcement of fundamental rights? Article 32. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India defines that no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any hazardous employment? Article 24. What does Article 61 of the Indian Constitution deal with? Impeachment of the President. Which of the following is a right under Article 300A, right to property? Which article of the Indian Constitution provides for right to education? 21A. In which of the following articles right against exploitation are mentioned? Article 23 to 24. Which article of the Constitution of India provides that there shall be Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister as its head? Article 74(1). Article 356 and 360 in the Indian Constitution are the articles based on emergency provisions. Definition of money bills is given in which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution? Article 110. Articles 52 to 78 in Part 5 of the Indian Constitution deal with Union Executive. Article 23 to 24. They deal with right against exploitation. Which article of the Indian Constitution provides for proclamation of emergency? Article 352. Dash of the Constitution deals with amendment procedure. Article 368. Which of the following articles states that a state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them? Article 15. Which article of the Indian Constitution states that the state shall endure to secure the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India? Article 44. Article 72 of the Indian Constitution is related with the power of President to grant pardon and to suspend, remit, or commute sentences in certain cases. Article 32 to 35 of the Indian Constitution deals with the right to constitutional remedies. Under which article the Constitution of India can the President of India declare national emergency if he or she feels that there is a grave threat to the security of the country? Article 352. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution is related to organization of village panchayats? Article 40. Which article of the Indian Constitution specifies equality before law? Article 14. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the appointment and duties of the Attorney General of India? Article 76. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India provides the procedure for impeachment of the President? Article 61. The term village panchayat is mentioned in which of the following articles of the Constitution of India? Article 40. Which article empowers the Supreme Court to issue directions or writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights? Article 32. Which of the following rights forbids employment of children below the age of 14 years in dangerous jobs? Right against exploitation. Which article of the Indian Constitution enshrines the right against exploitation? Article 23 and 24. What does Article 360 of the Constitution of India provide with? Financial emergency. Which article of the Indian Constitution specifies Hindi as official language of the Union? Article 343. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India gives us a description of money bill? Article 110. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution is later Uniform Civil Code for the Citizen? Article 44. Which of the following articles from DPSP mentions about organization of village panchayats? Article 40. Article 14. Under which article of the Indian Constitution are traffic in human beings and beggar and other forms of forced labor prohibited? Article 23. Article dash of the Constitution of India lays down that the state shall endeavour to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Article 44. Article 36 to 51 of the Indian Constitution deal with DPSP. Which article of the Constitution of India provides equal protection of the laws and equality before law? Article 14. Under which article of the Indian Constitution Prime Minister the head of the Council of Ministers? Article 74. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution prohibits the Indian state from conferring any title except a military or academic distinction? Article 18(1). Which article of the Constitution is solely for civil code? Article 44. Which article deals with the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution and procedure therefore? Article 368. Article 40 of the Indian Constitution is later organization of village panchayats. Which of the following rights is mentioned in Article 21? Right to freedom, protection of life and personal liberty. So this is my score.